Yeah, so when you and I connected last spring, Tamara, and we were on the phone. I think we were on the phone for like 1 or 2 hours. I mean, it was just like, where did the time go? And we just were talking like we'd known each other forever, you know? And we got on the topic about cancer because I know you were a cancer survivor. And then I was talking about my mom because this was her second time having cancer. Well, fast forward, we find out not only does she have cancer, she has a very rare type of cancer. So when I learned about, oh my gosh, it doesn't respond to chemo. Oh my gosh, like, did my mom have fast or slow and growing because we hadn't gotten all the tests done at that point? You know, there's a lot of anxiety and like fear of the unknown creeping up. So when we spoke, it was very comforting to know not only did we have loved ones who have it, but we could just like talk and we could relate to one another. Oh, I'm not alone in this, or I'm not the only one. And we could share information about what I knew and what you knew, because, you know, the firsthand experience is like partly why you created, you know, Chemo Buddies, is to have people who are going through it together, you know, and to support one another, whether you're the caregiver or the patient. With everything going on in 2020 with COVID, you know, if you have cancer, you're more, you know, susceptible. And that isolation can really take a toll on you. So it's even more important now. And it also reconfirmed how important human connection is. It really does. Like, if this year hasn't taught you something, then I'm like, you're never going to learn. It's like, this is our year to really reflect on what really matters. And I know for me, I can speak for myself, what really matters is human connection and good health. It's not, what is this, why is this happening to me? It's, what is this teaching me? So I'm like trying to like get the lessons while going through it. And I'm like, okay, but sometimes part of it is just going through it and then being able to process and integrate and everything. So that's what really ended up happening shortly after we found out my dad is on hospice. Was like everything just came to a head, you know. It's like there's only so much you can handle before you hit your tipping point. You know, we're only human. It doesn't matter how optimistic you are, how spiritual or religious or whatever you are. You know, you're going to hit your tipping point. And I hit my tipping point, and I was just like, you know, the PTSD kicked in, and I was like, okay, what am I feeling? What do I need to work through? And for like 2 weeks there, I was in a pretty dark place. I was just like, okay, I'm sad, I'm grieving, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, you know, and I've really learned to embrace whatever emotion I have because we're human, you know. There is no shame around whatever you feel, because the thing is if you don't face your feelings, as I like to call it, then you're going to stuff it down and it's going to manifest in other ways. And I just sat there and I lit one of my candles and I was like, okay, universe, I'm open to receiving messages. I surrender. What do I need so that I can work through this? Because I was feeling everything. I didn't like the way I felt, but I know I had to feel it, you know? I had to feel those emotions. And I literally got a message to say, write on the board what really matters. So I wrote what really matters. I did a little line. And I just started brain dumping everything that came through with no judgment. That's the key. Just write it down. No judgment. Whatever comes through, it can be anything. What really matters? A lollipop. What really matters? My pet. What really matters? You know? So I literally wrote down everything that came through. And then I looked at it because I like to analyze. And I'm like, okay, let's filter through this. Let's break this down even more, you know? And the big things were health, financial stability, family, human connection, love, kindness, compassion. So I really narrowed it down to those. I mean, I can't say everything that came through, but those are the ones right now, right? Because what really sticks in our mind is what really matters. But that's part of the silver lining for me, is what is this teaching me? Good health is number one. If you don't have your health, you have nothing. I really believe wherever you put your energy, you know, you'll manifest it. And my mantra is I'm healthy and I'm resilient and I observe, but I don't absorb. I mean, I'm still processing. So when you talk about love, Tamara, and your tour of love, whenever you say tour of love, I always have the Beatles song, All You Need Is Love, playing on repeat. Because it really boils down to love.